Mr. Taiwo Adediran. You're welcome, Mr. Taiwo.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning to listeners at home and viewers alike.
All right.
Good to be here again.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Quickly, let's take a look at the state of Nigeria's economy. Yesterday in Abuja, during the launch of the latest Nigeria Development Update report, the World Bank reported or made an appeal to the Nigerian government to ensure that the outcomes of the recent economic reforms translates to, the living standard or improving the living standards of the common Nigerians. Because if you take a look at all the reforms from fuel subsidy to the exchange unification and all that, to many professors or to many individuals, they will say that these are macroeconomic outlooks, but they doesn't really translate to what the common man is meant to feel in terms of safety net programs and all that. But let's take a look at these claims by the World Bank. Macroeconomic gains, they say, it must be swiftly converted into welfare improvement. But what do you make of this revelation from World Bank?
Well, for many of these government critics, what they have focused on would be that particular area where the World Bank has identified that the government seems to be lagging behind and that a lot still needs to be done. But then we need to be fair enough to look at the bad sides that we are still witnessing, as well as the positive end. Because if you read that report, they were actually both sides.
Yes,
it's a report on its own. Yes, and it was fair enough, if you ask me. Yes, just as they acknowledge that all the indices shows that the country's reforms and those economic policies are already yielding results in terms of monetary gains. And if you look at it, the economy is also stabilizing compared to when the government came into power. When President Bola Tinubu was reading his address on the 1st of October, you saw all the figures he rolled out about the gains of this government to GDP, the drop in inflation, the revenue realization, the oil output as it stands now, the non-oil sector, the development that we have witnessed in the non-oil sector, the debt burden as the government has been able to also pay. So a lot of these gains are what these people the World Bank has also acknowledged. I was listening to the Emir of Kano, and a former CBN governor, who also acknowledged all these gains and said, well, he agrees with about 80% of this government's economic policies, and that is a situation the country cannot, escape. I know that it has always been against subsidy because it was in that circle, so you could see it, and it was evident enough that some people were the ones benefiting from it, and that until you pull that plug on them, it will continue. It took the political will of this administration to do that. Although we are feeling the heat, but I think we are crossing, that road gradually. Now, people will say, are we feeling the impact? As you said, yes, you can keep rolling out the macroeconomic gains and all that, but is it actually reflecting in the lives of the people? Not much has been felt, but we still feel that it will take some time before we can start to see that. In the economy, if you also look at it, you will see that some prices in certain instances, even for foodstuff, are already, dropping little by little. That we have not really felt much impact. We have not really seen more gains. And I know that the Emir Sanusi was also saying government needs to cut down the cost of governance itself, which is big enough. Look at what we are doing with 36 state governors. Look at the appointees that they get into office and all that, and how much they spend managing governance itself. So that itself is something huge, which I also agree we must look. There are some things that are needless in government, and that was why I agreed with this government when they said they would not engage in any parade of sorts during the October 1st. Of what use? Of what gain? If we say we are not yet there, what's the parade all about every year? Right. So that's for me.
All right.
In the area, before we move, in the area where they mentioned that 139 are below poverty, is actually debatable, if you ask me. I was reading the response of the presidency through one of the media aid, Sunday Diary, who did a plausible analysis for any, and it's only unreasonable people that reasons would not appeal to. If I also want to agree, I will also look at that analysis, that the threshold that we use, the formula we use is, what is the gauge you are using to measure that poverty? I think it's about $2.15 or thereabout, set in 2017. Are you with me? Now, if you say daily, if you earn less than that, then you fall. Threshold. Yes, you are within that poverty threshold. But in the reality, that's for the global consideration. If you look at it, the global standard. But if you look at someone in Nigeria, let us be realistic, that if you earn $2 like 15 cents a day, that means in a month, which is about 30 days, you'll be earning about $64. Are you with me?
Yes.
$64, now convert it to naira. That's about 100,000 naira. So it means that if you are earning that, that's far beyond our minimum wage, which is 70,000 naira. So how do you call that, poverty line in Nigeria? Because if you earn 100,000 naira, you might not be able to live large, but you can still do something comfortable enough. Unlike you having people who earn 25,000, 15,000, 20,000 in a month. So that calculation, we need to be reasonable with it and look at, in Nigeria's context, is it really plausible to say if you earn $2.15, you are poor?
So you're saying that there are still some other people who earn below $2 that are still thriving?
Yes. If you look at it, Nigerian context, in Nigerian context, if I earn that, then you feel that, well, this is a bit above poverty line, because you would not tell me that someone who earns 80,000 is actually within the poverty line.
All right.
That could be within the global standard, but in the Nigerian context, it might not be.
All right, thank you so much, sir. And one important thing that you mentioned is that the government spendings and even appointments, and another thing that I noticed some days ago was the call for creation of new states. In fact, the division of Oyo State into two. And I saw many people's comment. They were saying that it's just a political tactics by the government to amass vote from different from that region or something like that. But that aside, this Nigeria development update also outlined ways to sustain the progress that we are actually gaining. They mentioned reduction in inflation and also improving the efficiency of public spending that you just mentioned. But one important part that I would like us to expand upon is the social safety net. That is creation of assistance in terms of food, employment, and even cash transfer. That many governments have tried to, through various programs, have tried to implement this program. But it seems as though there are still many people lacking in terms of social programs and all that. And the ministry was also mad with misappropriation of funds. But how do we ensure that state government, not just federal government alone, but state government also partner with the federal government to ensure that these social safety net programs reaches the grassroots, because that is where they need it more. That is where they are most vulnerable.
Yes. Well, that's one thing. It's been a sort of concern.
Yeah.
Because for those who you mentioned, I'm also one of them. I don't think I've ever benefited. Yes. One thing out of all these various programs that we have, by and large, that is not to say that we do not know of people who have actually benefited.
True.
Yes, either at state level here in Kwara, or at the federal level. I also want to commend the Kwara state government for the standard at which they set, because I witnessed some of their exercise. Yes, at Kwasip, and I appreciate the way they conducted the whole thing. It was transparent enough, and it was sort of on merit, so fair enough for people. That's not to say that there are no areas where people were going behind the back door, and we are also witnessing this at the federal level. You see, and this is why, for me, I always say that it is not just about the government, also about the people. Now, who is parasitic between us, who actually infected the other, is a topic for another day. During the days of Empower, I know of several people who were working but were still earning something from Empower. You know, they connive with those the school authorities, have a part of it for the school authority, then they also have part of the money. So it is happening as we speak today. Some people are employed as teachers, but they don't go there, you know, and they earn. So the school authority, some personnel there collect part of it, they also collect. So these are some of the, because corruption has eaten deep into our fabric. So it will take time, and I hope we get there someday. You know, all this mago, you find it everywhere and at different level, because it is always people, you know, that you find there. So you are favored when you perhaps have a connection to that office, because it opens your eyes to what is happening there and gives you an edge beyond people who do not know anyone, even though they qualify. But so one of the things that we have seen with the social register is that trying to use a World Bank recognized register, and I'm also aware that was one of the things that was adopted in Kwara here, that captured certain people. I'm also aware that it has even been expanded now. I'm aware that about 15 million for the federal government. They've expanded it to cover about 15 million. And now you look at the Nelfund scheme. That's one of the most beautiful that I appreciate, the way it's designed. It has always been in existence, but it always died because you don't have, you know, the way to a proper mechanism to really monitor it and ensure that people refund at the end of the day. This one now, people are already earning and they are benefiting from it. The time to refund has not come. So we really do not know how much they will be able to, you know, to recover the loans and be able to allow, you know, other people benefit from it. But if you look at it, it's a beautiful program on its own. Yes. So if it is for that, for some other people in business, yes, they have also benefited. If we go to town and the people who are in businesses and all that, yes, some people have actually benefited. And if they've seen you benefit in this area, you might not be able to benefit in the other area again. It is all about data. It's all about data. If we have appropriate data of people, you have their name, and when this person collected for this so program,
you'll be flagged.
Yes, you'll be flagged, because we have seen your record that you have actually benefited in this area before. So that's one good thing about data, which we are not there yet, but we are still, you know, at least not where we used to be, and that has helped us, you know, largely. I hope we do more in that regard.
Sincerely, I really appreciate you for mentioning data. It's very important. But you mentioned World Bank recognized data. Is it quite different from the data from Nigeria's repository or registry? Is it quite different?
Well, what they do is they've been able to go larger than what people are, what a state or
the country itself,
or the country has been doing. But I think we are also in line now. Okay. In those days, it might just be that in your area you just register, and you find people from a particular political party just putting down their name. Is that a register? So but this one is what they now recognize, perhaps from sensors and some other data that are from the biometrics that we've been collecting. So they recognize it because it to a large extent has been vetted. So we can really say we rely on that. You look at the synergy between I think INEC and INEC and this office making this this registration for NIN.
Okay.
The office
that's
in
the
charge
NIMC.
of yes, NIMC.
Yeah.
You realize that is a good one because it's easy to really see people's record and say yes, this is a reliable data, and that is what the World Bank recognizes as well, because they know it's credible enough.
All right, thank you so much. And to add to that, I think there are also various other methods to get data from, even bank details from
the BVN,
mobile phone registration and all that. That can also be included. All right. During that meeting also, World Bank, they made a commitment to support Nigeria's reform agenda through advice, policy advice, technical assistance and financial support. But this issue of financial support has been really debated upon, that why do we still getting assistance from foreign financial institutions when we can't implement it or make use of it to actually better the lives of Nigerians?
Judicious use of it. It is also the concern about our debt, the loans we collect here and there. Sometimes it is what people refer to as good loans, good debt, because you probably is needed, is necessary, and you are making judicious use of it.
Okay.
But in our own case, we've not actually seen that, and that is why people get concerned in most cases. But I think we are seeing more transparency in that regard now.
Okay.
The fact that a country like US has even cut it in some areas is just for us as Africans, not as Nigerians alone. As Africans who have always seen, who has always been dependent on most of the Western nations to face reality,
of course,
and say you need to really fathom a way out of this financial imbroglio and find a solution to your own problems.
Exactly.
And I think that for this government, one of the stability they've enjoyed is when it came to power, they really did not make anything in office. And that this government could have fallen flat. Yes, but because he pulled that plug and they said, well, them all consequences, we are removing oil subsidy. Money started flowing in, and they were able to stabilize. As we speak now, what the state governments earn is far more than even doubled of what they earned before. Now, the question should be, what are they doing with it? It may be difficult for the president to always call the governors to question or say he wants to probe them every now and then. But it behooves on us as a people to also monitor them. Civil society organizations, anti-graft agencies, let us put pressure on the media to ensure that we monitor and we ask questions.
All right. You mentioned good debt and bad debt. Yesterday, I was listening to former Governor of Abia State, Ojuzo Kalu, who mentioned that borrowing to pay salaries, he regarded it as a bad debt, bad use of the loans we collected. But building infrastructures, roads and bridges are actually the good part. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I do, to a large extent.
Okay.
If we see that, this is what we used it for. We have used it for investment in this area. We have this loan from China, and they are the one implementing it on this particular infrastructure. And if it's transparent enough, why not? I've always supported the coastal highway project. Yes, even though it's one huge sum of money, but if government can really be transparent and accountable enough to say, well, per kilometer, as your man will always ask, this is how much we are spending, and this is what we are using it for, I don't think is a bad one. Of what use is it if before you finish the Ilorin to Ibadan expressway, before you even finish the project, the road is already spoiling again? But if we spend that money and we can see that yes, this is what you used it for, is really worth it, then it is nothing bad.
All right.